Hello, today we're going to explore one of the most fundamental concepts in physical geography and specifically climatology. Why Earth's surface does not heat up evenly. Now, this might seem obvious. We all know the tropics are warmer than the poles, but the science behind it is quite fascinating and drives our entire climate system. Now, let me share my screen and get into the basics of it. Okay, excellent. Now, imagine Earth as a giant solar panel collecting energy from the sun. But unlike a flat solar panel, Earth is a sphere. And this simple geometric fact creates an intricate pattern of energy distribution that varies both by location and by time of year. These variations in solar radiation or insolation are primary drivers of our weather and climate patterns. Now, we have four key factors, so let's break them down here. The four main reasons why different parts of Earth receive different amounts of solar energy are the first and foremost most importantly, is that we have what we call the angle of incidence. That is the angle at which the sunlight hits Earth's surface. So think about when you use a flashlight on a wall. When you shine it straight on, you get a bright, concentrated circle. Okay. Now, if you tilt the flashlight and using that same light, the same amount of light spreads out over a larger area, making it less intense. The same thing happens with sunlight hitting the earth. At the equator, sunlight often arrives nearly straight overhead, and that's a 90-degree angle of incidence, providing maximum heating. But at the poles, the sunlight always arrives at a sharp angle, spreading the same amount of energy over a much larger area. All right. So, secondly, we have atmospheric obstructions. The sunlight doesn't travel through empty space just to reach Earth's surface. It has to pass through our atmosphere. The atmosphere acts like a filter with clouds, dust particles, and gas molecules. All of these interfere with the incoming sunlight. Now, here's the crucial part. When sunlight arrives at a low angle, such as the poles, it has to travel through more atmosphere to reach the surface. It's like putting extra filters on your camera lens. The more filters you have, the less light gets through. Okay. So again, let me repeat that. When sunlight arrives at a low angle, such as the poles, it has to travel through more atmosphere to reach the surface. Okay. Now, the third concept is day length. Now, the amount of solar energy a location receives obviously depends on how long the sun is actually up. And this creates some fascinating effects. Places in the middle and high latitudes experience dramatic seasonal changes in day length. Think about those long summer days and short winter days in places like Canada or Northern Europe. Meanwhile, near the equator, day length stays fairly consistent throughout the year. Now, finally, all these factors come together to create what we call a latitudinal radiation balance. So picture a belt of maximum solar energy that swings north and south through the tropics as Earth orbits the sun. So this creates a permanent energy surplus in the tropics, specifically between 28 degrees north and 33 degrees south latitudes. Beyond these boundaries, we find an energy deficit where more energy is lost in these areas than gained. Okay, so why does this matter? Well, understanding these patterns is crucial because they create the energy balance, they create the energy imbalances that drive our global weather systems. The atmosphere and the oceans work constantly to redistribute this unevenly distributed heat, creating wind patterns, ocean currents, and weather systems that shape our climate. So think about it. Without these variations, we wouldn't have our familiar climate zones, our seasons, or the dynamic weather patterns that make Earth's atmosphere so unique and interesting to study. Now, as always, please reach out with any questions. Thanks a lot.